Okay, so this is the Besteker wide angle lens camera from Amazon. I got it on Amazon anyway. I've already opened the Amazon box. That's what it looks like. I got a Class 10 32 gig SD card with it. I'd seen a couple posts that said that it might not accept the 64, so I went to 32. I have not opened this before, so this is exactly how it will come. It has not been pre-opened. Clip for the wide angle lens, it looks like. There's a lens cleaner in there. I don't know if you can see that or not. This feels like it's a felt type material. Decent bag. Decent lens. It's my phone. Okay, we'll set that aside. Microphone. Manual, multiple different languages. Pretty thick foam. This cord is not very long, and it feels weak. It doesn't feel very strong. I would probably recommend getting a hold of, it looks like this is a 3.5 millimeter. Probably recommend getting a different wire. And this comes with a battery. It is battery powered, it's not powered by the hot shoe. It takes a CR 2032, 3 volt. Check into that later. It's nice that it's got this case. You can throw it back in that if you want to. I mean, box with the foam. If you wanted to, you can throw it back in that when it's not in use. Looks pretty nice. As long as the image is okay. I saw on the internet that this does not supposedly shoot 30 frames per second in 1080. So I will try that and see what it looks like. But I will also shoot it in 720. See what it looks like there. Connection cable. HDMI. Guessing that's a charger cord of some sort. Charger wall. Don't have to use a wire on that. Drivers does not say what versions of Windows. I've heard a rumor that this does not work with 10 very well if you're just plugging it into it. But most come with 2 batteries. Most computers nowadays have an SD card reader on the front, or you can buy an SD card reader for really cheap. The camera itself does not come wrapped, which is kind of surprising. Bumping the tripod there. Looks pretty nice. This actually feels. I went and looked at a Sony yesterday. One of their low-end cameras is about $100. Take that back. It's about $150. This one cost me $155 and came with all this. So this actually feels more sturdy than that Sony did. That Sony felt pretty cheap, pretty chintzy. This just came in. It's cold here, so I'm going to let it warm up a little bit, charge the battery, and I'll post the next segment of this video is going to be the camera itself. the actual video from this camera. Okay, so this is in the 1080p mode. I do have to say, I've got the lens on. I do have the boom, or the shotgun mic on also. The lens, can't tell if that's actually doing anything or not. The lens is metal, but the end of it seems to slide in and out almost like a focus, but it doesn't seem like it's doing anything. The lens itself also does a macro. So the lens is two-piece. You unscrew the outer wide-angle lens, and then you have a macro lens that you can put on for close-up stuff. So that's 1080p. I'm going to stop this, and then I'll switch it over to 720, and you can see what that's like. This is video recording in the 720p. I have the shotgun mic on. I have the wide-angle lens on. Seems to track a little bit smoother. I don't know if it's shooting a higher frame rate in the 720 than the 1080, because like I said, I couldn't find that in the manual anywhere or anything along those lines. But this is the quality image that you'll be looking at if you shoot in 720 with the best. Okay, so I shot most of my video outdoors with the shotgun mic on the max setting. I've got the shotgun mic on again, but I've got it turned on to just the standard 0 decibel setting for right now. The outdoor stuff seemed okay. It seemed a little bit blurry, even when I reviewed it on the camera and on the computer both. It seemed a little bit blurry in the 1080. I've got it set to 1080 right now. The 720 seemed to be the sharper image of the two, I guess. It didn't seem to blur. So I'm guessing that it's not shooting at 30 frames a second on 1080 like it is for sure on 720. It just seemed a little bit more crisp, especially with motion. I think it's a decent camera for what I'm going to use it for. I'm not going to be using it for vlogging and stuff like that. That's not the intention of my channels. More instructional stuff on outdoors things, and maybe record a couple hunts or something like that. Some fishing recording, things along those lines. Nothing. I'm not going to be up in my face like this all the time with this. But for people who are looking for something like that, this might not be the best option for you. This seems to work for what I need it to do for right now. Keep in mind, it's a $150 camera. A lot of the cameras out there that you see the YouTube people using that are constantly out there, where you see their face all the time, that are very successful on YouTube, they're using a lot more expensive cameras than this, and you're not going to get into that type of quality for this kind of money. You're just not. If you're expecting a full 1080 super sharp image out of something in this price range, you're setting yourself up for failure. You're just not going to find it. Now, if you're wanting to spend $500, $1,000, something along those lines, you're going to start getting into something that's sharp image, or at least a lot sharper image that's actually going to shoot 30 frames a second, maybe even more. And you can start getting, the sky's the limit after that. I saw a Red Cube camera for $40,000. That one's going to have a fantastic image, but this isn't even in the same price point or ballpark as that. Like I said, this is going to do what I need it to. It's going to work great for me for the time being. I don't have a lot of money. I've got about $200 in the entire setup, between the tripod, camera, and my action cam and everything else. It does everything I need it to do. I have no complaints so far. We'll see what happens as far as durability goes the longer I use it, but this is a test of the video on the camera, so you can see it, I can see it, that way I know what I bought. You know going into this what you're going to be buying if you decide to buy it. So that's all I've got on it. If you have any questions, you can leave those down below. I'll try and answer them as fast as possible. Give me a like if you like what you see. I'm going to put up some other videos of different things that I purchased on Amazon as well. That way you can get an idea what those are like also. The macro lens on this, though, I do have to say, you can't have it on for this kind of a shot. The sensor for the remote is right on the face of the lens there. I think that the infrared light is also the infrared sensor, and this is an infrared remote. I don't know if you can see the little eye there. When you put the macro lens or the wide angle lens on there, this cannot be picked up. It doesn't matter if you go all the way around or anything like that, because the macro and wide angle lens completely cover the entire circumference of that outer ring for the camera face. So if you're trying to shoot a shot and you want to use the remote, you cannot use the wide angle lens and the remote at the same time. It's going to be one or the other. So you'll either have to do some editing and take out while you're walking up to the camera, or just leave that lens off. That's the only complaint that I have, is that I wish that the infrared sensor was put in a different spot so that it would pick up this even with the wide angle lens, because I'm probably going to end up using the wide angle lens a little bit. I kind of liked it, but we'll see what happens. So if you like what I'm doing, give me a like, subscribe, leave a comment, and let me know that I'm doing a good job. Thanks, have a good day.